Big Gamer out here. How are you guys doing today? I'm super. Thanks for asking. Hi guys, today I want to bring you a quick review and buyer's guide for Rugby 18. That's a game that's currently available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4 and PC. Now this is a game that is a full price title, so that's right, it can be found for about $60 in the US and about £40 in the UK. I actually paid, I think, slightly over £40 for my copy, so this can be an expensive game. This game is coming from Maxim Games, the guys that brought us Rugby 15 and World Cup previously, and those were a little bit of a train wreck, so let's get into it. This year the game really seems to be pitching itself as the FIFA of rugby games, especially in its font and its presentation, and it does have a decent amount of licensed players, with official pictures and photos for the players too, and they've also licensed nations, clubs and the teams themselves. Unfortunately, it seems that not every nation and club were provided though, and that is a bit of a shame. There is the usual game modes, season, you've got your online and offline matches, and there's a My Squad mode which you can use currency gained in other modes basically to try and recruit like a super team, which is quite nice, and I think that does tie into that FIFA side of things again. In game, the players aren't necessarily the most accurate reflection of themselves, and they can look a little bit like someone's taken a WWE custom creator version of themselves instead. The stadiums in the game look quite sharp, though there's a real lack of stadiums, which is a real shame because you're going to be playing through the same kind of stadiums over and over again. In action, the animation is a little bit stiff and stilted, though it is certainly an improvement over some of the early entries when these games first came over to the Xbox One and the PS4. There seems to be an abundance of rucks in game, which take a long time to play out, and the problem with that is when they're coming so regularly and they're taking so much of the game time up, it feels like they're happening too often. Though I do really like the systems they've got for kicking and for scrums, those are quite fun, and I really like driving a big scrum forwards. That is really satisfying. Tackling can be a bit hit and miss, and it feels a little bit sometimes like dangerous tackles are a little bit random. They seem to be based on timing or distance, but sometimes they don't always feel intentional. All in all, it's a game that has certainly improved since Rugby 15 and World Cup, but it's still quite lean, it's quite stiff and ugly at times, and it's not at all what the sport deserves. I guess for most of us it's going to be going back to Jonah Lomu on the 360 again. I'm actually going to give this game a 4.5 out of 10. If you found this review helpful at all, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.